Morning, good afternoon, welcome to the January 22nd, 2013 Board of Commissioners special called meeting work session. We have two items today, two tabs today. First, under tab 1 is present information regarding the 2001 Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, an update to that program. Director DeMassimo, I believe you're beginning us today, right?
Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners, County Manager, we're going to provide you with a quarterly update on the 2011 SPLOST, and I'm going to start off with an overview, but then our featured city today, City of Ackworth, is going to come up. Mayor's here, and he's going to provide an update specific to the City of Ackworth's projects. As you all remember, this is a $492 million projected SPLOST collections, 4-year SPLOST, and I know that you're already familiar with the breakout of that, so I won't go over that. In addition, we want to show you the SPLOST receipts through December of 2012, which is 11 months of collection. We are pleased to report that right now we are exceeding the projected receipts by almost $9.8 million. So that's very good news. You will recall, however, and we've discussed this previously as well, that in the previous SPLOST there was a point during that SPLOST where we were running ahead of projections. And so we are treating this in a very conservative manner, as is appropriate, to see how things continue to how the collections continue to moving forward. And with that, I would like to introduce the mayor of Ackworth, Tommy Alligood. Over the life of the SPLOST, we have the cities come in at each of the quarterly meetings and they report. Smyrna and Powder Springs have already done that at previous meetings with our SPLOST Oversight Committee, and today we're very pleased to have Mayor Alligood here to talk about all of Ackworth's accomplishments. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, it's a pleasure to be here today. We brought all of our SPLOST department heads that are with us here today. There are our SPLOST managers. We have our Police Chief, Wayne Dennard, that's here with us, our City Manager, Brian Bulltice, our Parks and Recreation Director, James Albright, Mr. Mark Hipp, who is the Director for our Public Works and our Power Department. These are the managers that are implementing our SPLOST projects in our city. And as we get started today, I want to just make a general comment, and that is how important this SPLOST initiative is and how important our partnership is with the county is really helping us to build our quality of life. These projects make a difference. They make an impact in our community. They're important to us. This partnership is very important to us, and we thank you for the opportunity to be here and share with you today. We'll begin by breaking down the categories of all of our SPLOST projects. Our SPLOST project categories are the roads, parking, and sidewalks, $4.5 million. Our stormwater category, $500,000. We have a railroad silent crossing category, about $1.5 million. Our parks and recreation is $1,170,000. Our public safety is $4,750,000. And then our resurfacing of our roads is right under $1 million. To date, we have received $2.9 million in SPLOST receipts, and that breaks down every month. As you know, our portion of the SPLOST receipts is right at 2.786%. That translates in dollars to $294,000 a month. Of the total SPLOST dollars that we have received as of the end of 12/31, we have spent and completed projects of $1,139,797. Our different SPLOST projects break out under the categories. There's 17 different projects. Our projects are based and categorized and scheduled for their completion based on the cash flow that's coming in. Again, we're getting $294,000 a month, so we have to schedule the actual implementation of these projects. You can look here and see that, that as of 12/31, we had received the $2.9 million. Of the $2.9 million, we actually have spent and completed $1.139,797. That's 39% of the total dollars that we've received. we've spent and completed the projects. We have banked 61%, $1,800,000. By the time this coming June comes, on June 30th, we will have actually accumulated and spent $2,266,000, excuse me, dollars, which is 43% of the total amount of SPLOST dollars that we'll receive this year. We will bank, as of June 30th, we will bank 57%, which is $2,954,311. By the time June 30th of 2014 comes around, we will have spent, of our SPLOST dollars, we will have spent 90% of what we received, $8,129,000, and we will be banking at that point about $400,000 with an additional $3.5 million to be received. Again, something that's real important as you look at our SPLOST projects as we're moving forward is the fact we're totally reliant on the way this cash flow comes in and this $294,000. We have taken our high priority projects and put them in front, and we are getting to them as soon as we're having the available cash through the collections. Here's a breakdown of our road and parking and sidewalk project completion as of the end of the 12/31. We completed the our project there. It's our downtown parking. It is a pervious parking lot in which special design allowed us to not have a detention. We created about 40 new parking places in our downtown. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner there, you'll notice the upcoming projects. There are 10 projects that are under our road, parking, and sidewalk projects, and you can see between the completion dates between 6/13, which is this June, all the way out to 6/16 during the next 3 years. Here is our projects under our Parks and Recreation Department. Our very first project was at Cobb Park down at our beach, and we had 3 projects. We had a bathroom renovation, we had pavilion, and we had a playground that was all part of the first projects of our SPLOST project. We actually, from our city's capital improvement fund, went ahead and funded the bathroom renovation, and we will have that complete by the end of this month, and that was about $140,000. We did that so that we could expand the size of the playground and playground equipment that we are actually implementing there. It's a very high visible project. We expect this project to be the largest and certainly the newest playground in all of Cobb County. We also will complete in March the playground and the pavilion down at Cobb Park. Be a great place for our kids to play. Our next project that we'll be working on and that we'll actually have finished in 2013 are going to be under our Parks and Recreation Department will be 2 projects, one at our sports complex, one at Newberry Park. At Newberry Park, we'll be replacing concession stands and restrooms that were built during the 1960s with new facilities there. And then at our sports complex, we have a very large parking lot that services actually the football side of our sports complex, and we will be making safety improvements and adding additional parking, about 60 additional parking places there to accommodate our rapidly growing sports program. This is my favorite project. It's our railroad crossing and safety improvements for a quiet zone. In our city, actually in our community, there are 5 different crossings, 4 of those in the city, and the one at McKever is just outside the city limits. It's in the county. We've included that in our project, and we met in December with CSX and Federal Railway to begin the implementation and the study process to make the safety improvements and make this a quiet zone for our community. And then, in accordance with the ARC Plan 2040 in December, we were awarded a special $1 million federal freight and safety operations grant to be able to make the crossing improvements to begin that process and to take the signalization part of that to create the safety part. we're going to use SPLOST dollars for the actual implementation of the silent crossing zones, and we'll be coming to you with a request in 2 weeks on the McKever to be able to move forward, making this part of our project officially with an intergovernmental agreement on that. Finally, our big project is 35% of the total SPLOST dollars that are allocated in all of our projects is our new police station. We're really excited about that. And this new police station, the RFQ, will go out to the architect actually within the next week or so. And our plans are to begin construction in 2013, which is this summer, and to be able to have it complete in the following year, July, August of 2014. That's about a year-long it's about a year-long project there. And again, by the time we get to 2014 in June, we will have completed and spent about $8.5 million and really have a lot of our projects on the front end in the first 3 years that will be completed. Again, we're glad to have the opportunity to have this this great partnership. Without this partnership, there are many things in our community that we would not be able to do and accomplish. And one thing that I want you to know that is really important to us, and we take every opportunity to do this, we make sure that our citizens know on all of these projects where the money is coming from and how important this SPLOST initiative is to our community and to building quality of life. I'll entertain any questions if you have any.
Mayor, thank you very much. Very thorough and clear presentation. We appreciate the great successes you're having. Where is the police station going to be located?
If you know where the present police station is right now, it'll be located. There's an area there that we own. We've got about 20 acres, and it'll be on property that we already own, actually just to the left of where the power department is.
Super, super. Any questions from the board for the mayor? I want to comment, thank you. The spirit of cooperation is at its highest between the city of Ackworth and the county. We appreciate that, not only in our level, the elected officials level, but staff as well. We appreciate you guys working as hard as you are with making sure these things happen with both our staff and your staff, so appreciate that very much. Commissioner Burrow.
Thank you, good job. Is this online, this presentation, on your website, city website? It's on the county, okay, thank you.
We can put it online if you want it online.
It's already on ours. I didn't know.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Any other questions?
Thank you,
Thank you
Mayor.
so much for letting us come and be with you today.
Thank you. Director.
Now, I was remiss earlier, and the mayor made the comment and reminded me that these quarterly presentations that we're doing underscore the county's ongoing commitment to ensure the transparency and accountability of the SPLOST program, that we make all the information available to the citizens so they know exactly where these dollars are going and what we're accomplishing with them. So for transportation, of the $251 million out of the county SPLOST that's committed to transportation, approximately $119 million is in infrastructure preservation. As you know, that was our real focus for this SPLOST. $8 million in transit, $43 million in congestion relief, $12 million in traffic management, and $67 million in safety and operational improvements. That represents about 170 total projects. And you can see where we are in the process right now. The completed projects represent about 13%. Construction is in progress on an additional 10%. Design and engineering is in progress on 34%. And future projects that will be coming forward account for about 43% of the total. Again, 58 projects are actually in pre-construction, 16 in construction, and 23 projects have been completed. So to go over some of the major highlights for this quarter, the Shiloh-Shallowford Road project, contract amount for that was $11 million. It's a 2-year construction project. The notice to proceed was issued in November of 2012. This project includes sidewalks, the length of the project limits, intersection improvements, and grade changes to improve site distance. Next project is Pine Mountain. Again, the project limits on this extend from Stylesboro Road to just east of Schillings Road, and this is a project that we're doing in coordination with the City of Kennesaw. Engineering is underway. The schedule is for this project to be let to construction in February of 2014, and we anticipate the construction time on this project to be about 18 months. There will be sidewalks on both sides and turn lanes at the intersection, with an intersection improvement to improve the skew at Schillings and Pine Mountain. And then the Lower Roswell Road project. The construction time on this project goes from Woodlawn Drive to Davidson Road. The construction time is approximately 18 months. Engineering is underway, and we have the project scheduled to let in March of 2014. In coordination, we've had extensive coordination, as you guys are familiar with this area, extensive coordination with local businesses and the district commissioner that has resulted in, I think, an innovative frontage road concept for the eastern portion of the project and median divided on the western portion of the project. Floyd Road. Project limits go from Veterans Memorial Highway to Clay Road. The engineering is underway. This portion of Floyd Road improvements is scheduled for construction in May of 2014. It'll be a 4-lane divided raised median and includes a trail on the west side that'll be the final link from Veterans Memorial to the Silver Comet Trail. Additionally, we have numerous project highlights that are in the drainage component of the SPLOST. You can see the crossing Creek Point drainage improvement there. Resurfacing highlights. In the 2011 SPLOST resurfacing through December of 2012, we bid 7 contracts valued at $17.9 million, 336 roads representing 92 miles of resurfacing. Since October of 2011, including dollars that were still being carried forward in the 2005 SPLOST, 10 contracts valued at $29.6 million, 537 roads and 156 miles. And then the funding called LMIG funding that we received from the state, we received about $3.6 million from GDOT. The contract for those resurfacing projects will be let in February of 2013 and represents 32 roads and 42.7 miles. Next quarter's planned activities. We have 4 sidewalk projects, 3 drainage projects, and a resurfacing project. 8 projects that will be completed, 12 construction starts that involve 6 sidewalk projects, 4 drainage, 1 resurfacing, and 1 intersection project, and 9 design engineering starts, including a sidewalk, 5 drainage projects, 2 intersection projects, and 1 bridge project. And with that, I will ask Eddie Cannon to come forward and give the Parks and Rec portion of the update.
Thank you. Mr. Cannon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners, County Manager. First, let me say it's nice to have Ms. Vicki Moreland here today to represent Moreland Altabelli. They're our partner, as you know, our program management firm. Russell Small is with her, and they've done a great job partnering with us to get our program up and running the last 12 months. We appreciate them being here. First, let's talk about where our money is. The $82 million that the county has comes from buildings and site work, $44.5 million, athletic fields, parks, $30 million, paving, $4 million, specialized, $5 million. Specialized is like there's some dams on properties that we have ponds on that have to be replaced, and then the Anderson Theater, the fly system. You see this says $83.5 million. Faye earlier said that we received $82 million, but if you remember, we got $1.5 million of the City of Powder Springs dollars to go into the City of Powder Springs and Wild Horse Creek Park also. Okay. We have 172 projects in 50 parks. Completed projects to date is 4%. Design construction underway is 19%. Procurement underway is 21%. Future projects is 56%. Next slide shows a map of projects across the country. We have, in the last 12 months, 15 design contracts, 3 design build contracts, 2 design build contracts, 1 master plan contract, and 1 annual contract for school boards. Let me talk a little bit about school boards before I move forward. This is going to be instant for our citizens to see. We will start putting these in right away. Our staff will be able to do some of these before we do major renovation on a lot of our fields, because the school boards are going to stay in the same location. So hopefully this spring our citizens will be able to start to see a lot of improvements just by school boards. save a lot of phone calls to y'all and to us because parents can't see the score. The next is talk a little bit about project highlights. This is our first big project. This is the Mountain View Aquatic Center. We did air quality improvements there. We also painted and did the pool resurfacing. As you recall, we took the old equipment, we recycled it, and we're able to put it back in the project. That's something we're real proud of. This project is completed, and the citizens, we've heard nothing but great things. This is our big, heavy time of the year that we have indoor swim meets, and it's been unbelievable the compliments that we've gotten on this facility. Next big project we will have coming in this next quarter that we're working on right now is the design of 3 tennis centers at Harrison Park, Taylor Mill Park, and Kenworth Park. Kenworth Park is actually a part of a kind of a shared park with the city of Ackworth. They manage the front part of that park and we manage the back. So this will be a great addition. New tennis center there will be a great addition to that park. It's under the design development phase right now. Construction documents will follow shortly. This is Fuller's Park, cross-tie walls. As you know, we have many cross-tie walls throughout our system. This is one of the worst ones we have in our system. They actually started construction today. They will be taking that wall down, replacing it with a modular wall. We will also be adding additional parking here at this site, and we hope to have this ready to go by the spring. The next is Wallace Park, another cross-tie wall. You can see the old wall at the top, and down at the bottom is the new wall. This picture is about a week old, so they've almost completed that wall. But it's modular block, and this will kind of be the new look for us as we move forward on our cross-tie walls. This does have a DOT uses this project also on their walls to help you. It's kind of a clear finish that helps you get graffiti off. And we will be putting that on all our walls that we build. Lions Park will follow with the similar type wall at Lions Park. Next is the new master plan for the city of Powder Springs Park. As you recall, this park floods anytime the creek, anytime it rains really hard. If we get 3 or 4 inches of rain, the creek comes out. So we're moving everything to the back of this park to try to get it up and above flood level. This is a copy of the new master plan. You can see that number 3 is where the pool is located right now. If you remember, that pool is coming out of this park and being moved to Wild Horse Creek Park. We will use some of that area for parking, but we also will use some of that area to renovate those fields also up front. Final draft is near completion and ready to prepare construction documents. Activities planned for the first quarter of this year. Procurement starts for Jim Miller Park infrastructure, Lions Park, Nickajack Park, and Oregon Park. Architectural and engineering starts with Wild Horse Creek, Sewell. That is 2 swimming facilities that we're renovating and actually building a new outdoor center at Wild Horse. Hurt Road Park, Sandy Plains Park, Sewell Park, Shaw Park, and Al Bishop. And then Fuller's Park. And then we're doing a facility analysis on the Civic Center to see where we sit, what improvements we need to do for our niche, for what people will use that facility for. So we're excited about being able to do that. And then construction starts at Noonday Park, total renovation of that soccer complex, and then of course Lions Park cross-tie wall, and then a variety of small parks throughout our projects that our staff, along with some help from property staff, can do that can make a difference right away with small dollars that we're doing. That would be putting roofs on facilities, improving buildings, outside of structures, those type of things, painting, and a lot of that type of stuff that we'll be doing. With that, I'll introduce Sam Heaton, Fire Chief.
Just a minute, Eddie, excuse me, Commissioner Gorham has a question.
Okay, yes.
Eddie, on the scoreboards at the fields, if
Right.
memory serves me correctly, we have an opportunity for realizing some savings in energy efficiency with the new boards. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And
They will
sorry.
all be LED, and so we will see that savings right away.
And also we have opportunities for sponsorships on those boards too, right?
We do. We will have opportunities for 2 different panels that will provide sponsorships. If the associations take on those 2 panels and they do the sponsorship, that money must be used for that park. to go back in that park or go back into their program. But we'll also be doing some of those sponsorships to ourselves through our department, putting it back in our programs. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Chief?
Good afternoon, Chairman, Board of Commissioners, and County Manager. I'm Sam Heaton, Fire Chief, and I'll be talking on behalf of public safety today. First of all, 27 public safety projects, and just to give you an idea of where we are, we had 32% of our projects are already complete, 12% are underway, 12% in design, and 44% in future projects. Just to let you know how we're tracking, on the top there is planned, and we had 8 planned and actually doing 8. We had 4 projects planned to be underway, and we have 5 underway at the time, and planned for 3 in design, and we are on 3. So we're right on track with where we had planned on being. Some of the highlights during this quarter is engine number 2, which is at Barber Road and South Cobb Drive, and that's near the intersection Austell Road and South Cobb Drive. And engine 2 is kind of unique in that the station is an older station, so the engine has to be a little shorter to fit inside the bay. And so it's a smaller pump, but it still carries 750 gallons of water. 1,500 gallons per minute is what's pumping capability. 500 horsepower diesel engine, carries 2,000 foot of hose, and should be in service probably February, if not earlier there. Next one is ladder truck number 4. Truck 4 will be located at the Cumberland Boulevard Station, and it is a 100-foot aerial platform, 300-gallon tank, 2,000 gallon per minute pump, 1,000-pound platform capacity, which basically means how much the bucket can hold when it's extended. And that truck should be in place. We have actually accepted delivery. It's at the radio shop and getting decals and things of that nature. Should be in service before the end of the month. And we have its sister truck, which is ladder truck 22, which will be at Austell Road and Seas Road, Precinct 2's area in Austell. And that one will probably come in February of this year, 2013. The next project highlight is our air bottle tender, which is Air 30. It's located on the Windy Mac, the new Station 30 at the Windy Mac station. It is a F-350 chassis, 10-foot body, storage for 40 self-contained breathing apparatus bottles, rehab supplies, and some spare self-contained breathing apparatus. Expecting delivery of this truck in April of 2013. And then air truck number 27, which is 26, is able to fill air bottles. The other just carries the air bottles. This one actually has the generator and compressor on it. It can fill the air bottles, operates pressure at 6,000 psi, a 40 kilowatt PTO generator, 9,000 watts of lighting, and a large amount of rehab supplies. And this one has just gone into service, and that is 27 is VMH and Pebblebrook Road down in South Cobb. For the next quarter, what we have planned is we have received the bids previously on the rescue trucks, and we are working on the specs for that. We'll be coming forth hopefully to place those specs out for bid. Another on engine, we'll be working toward getting permission to solicit for bids for 2 more engines, pumper trucks. Hazmat support vehicle, will be finalizing our specifications for the work to be done on it. Accept delivery of the 2 ladder trucks I just talked about. Apparatus 27, we just, like I said, we just accepted delivery of that, and on Air 30 should be taking that in the next quarter. And that's where we are.
Super.
All
Any
right.
questions for the chief? Thank you, sir.
Okay. I'll invite up John Reeder with Property Management.
Excuse me, chief, where are we at? Where are we at? Terrible ways. Where are we with the acquisition of the police rifles and deployment?
All the rifles have been purchased, and they are in the process of training all the officers. Some have already been doled out to the officers, but we're still going through the training process because it does take a time. Each rifle has to be fitted, if you will, per officer, so it takes a little time to cycle through that, but the training is ongoing right now.
Terrific. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, John.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, County Manager. Next slide. We have approximately $18.1 million that the Property Management Department is managing. And you can see in that slide that it's divided mostly between the public health facilities and the judicial facilities. And some of it is also in other facilities, public safety, the libraries, and senior services. This funding is being used not only for renovations, but also for heating and air conditioning upgrades, window upgrades, and roofing replacements. Next slide, please. There you see on the left-hand side of the slide, we are approximately 35% into the work. That's either completed or underway or being designed. And we spent about 28% of the money at this point. If you look at the graph on the right-hand side, you see that we are slightly ahead of completion of what we expected at this time, and we have quite a bit more underway than we expected to have underway at this time. Next slide, please. Now I'm going to show you a few of the things that we've done in the last 3 months, some highlights, you might say. And the first 2 slides here are from judicial, and these are specifically of the juvenile court. And there you see in that slide, that's our cabinet shop. And Adam is in the back there putting hinges and doors on one of those cabinets back there. If you have not ever visited the cabinet shop, I would certainly invite you to give me a call, and I'll be happy to take you there at any time. It's quite a place. Next slide, please. This is the sea, or I guess you might say the forest of metal studs on the 6th floor of juvenile court, the new juvenile court in the Superior Court North building. Those are 2 workers from Barty Mechanical. They're putting up ductwork in the new HVAC system. If you went to the floor just below this, you would see all the drywall being done. If you looked at the first slide when I first came up, that was one of the pictures of the people finishing the drywall. But that's what's going on that major renovation project. Next slide, please. This is senior services, the wellness center. This is the cafeteria, and this is just outside of the area where the teaching kitchen is at. And the reason I brought this slide is so you can see that TV monitor right there in the middle. There's one just like it on the other side, and there's one kind of where this picture is taken from. And the people that are training in that teaching kitchen, a lot of these seniors are not going to see what's going on. So they can sit in that area in the cafeteria, and they can see everything that's going on in that teaching kitchen, just like if you were watching it on TV, some of those cooking shows. Also, you might see right now there's a weather program on there, so they can show other things there that are of importance. Next slide, please. And I'm going to say a couple other things about that. In the Wellness Center, we've completed projection and sound systems in the ballroom as well as all those training rooms. So that's all completed last quarter. This is a outdoor lighting replacement that we did at the Superstation on Highway 41. We've also done exactly the same thing at the Central Library. And what we've done is we've taken a type of light called an induction light, and we've replaced what was there. This is more efficient, it's brighter, and it lasts longer. So we're going to save money. We're going to have more light. Next slide, please. And this is an example of something that's probably the most boring to you, but it is the HVAC replacements, which are very important to us because they keep all of our customers happy, everybody's comfortable. And this is the Austell Health Facility, and you see there's a very large HVAC unit sitting there behind that fence protecting it. And upcoming in the next 3 months, we have a lot of projects coming up. Juvenile Court will continue being renovated. We're going to be installing equipment, HVAC equipment in the library. We're going to be putting in the new chiller, the cooling tower. At Senior Services, we're going to be bidding windows and roofing for these 4 fairly new senior centers, West Cobb, East Cobb, and South Cobb. At the Health Department, we now have the contract for the architect. We'll get that executed, and we'll start designing the Health Department's new renovations things. For public safety, we're going to be bidding mechanical for the South and East Cobb Government Service Centers, roofing bids for animal control, public safety training, and overhead doors for the fire stations. And finally, for the other facilities, we'll be doing bidding for the fleet motorcycle shop roof, the purchasing warehouse roof, the cabinet shop, and McCollum Airport roofs. We're also going to be bidding mechanical work for Tennis Park Square, the Arts Museum, and for the Cobb County building. And Mr. Chairman, that completes our presentation. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Are there any questions for comments for John specifically? Thank you, John. Let me say overall, this SPLOST, now in its beginning of its second year, as Mayor Alligood said, is very important to the quality of life, not only for the city of Ackworth, but the entire community throughout. And I want to thank very much the Cobb County staff and the city staff across the county for working so hard and diligently, number one, to bring all these projects together on time and under budget, but being transparent, as was indicated by Faye DeMassimo. We're trying to make sure that we maintain the confidence of the folks in Cobb County that we're taking their projects seriously. Jim, if you could come up for a minute, I got a couple questions for you. Is there anyone here today from the SPLOST Oversight Committee, the Citizens Oversight Committee? Okay, what the director indicated is Alice Summerall, who's scheduled to be here today but had an unexpected funeral, as most are, and couldn't be here, but she'll be here next time. We appreciate the citizens of the Oversight Committee who work hard to make sure, and also that we're doing the right thing. Jim, I want to talk about finances. One of the interesting characteristics of the chair's spot versus the district spot is the district commissioners can focus in on specific projects that are moving forward and doing quite well for their constituents, which also, of course, are the chair's constituents. But I get the added pressure of, or responsibility or pleasure, depending on how you look at it, of managing through and watching with you and your staff closely the revenues to make sure that we are where we need to be. The first slide that Director DeMassimo put up showed that we were about $9 million ahead, if I recall correctly, on receivables or collections versus what we had projected out. And clearly, with this SPLOST, we had broken up into a Tier 1 and Tier 2 project list, and we would expect that if in the end, if we have more revenues than we had budgeted, we'll be touching into the second tier if this is all possible. But you know as well as I do that the tax collection that we currently enjoy through automobile sales is going to change, and as is the sales tax collected on energy in manufacturing. Can you just touch on how those two things might come to affect our SPLOST program moving forward?
Yes, sir. House Bill 386, which was passed last year and signed by the governor, does change dramatically the sales tax collections for automobiles. You will no longer have a sales tax on automobiles through dealerships. That will go away. Currently, we get 1 cent on those automobile sales. The Board of Education gets a penny, and the state will get 4 cents. What you're going to have now is a title ad valorem tax fee, which will be at 6.5% of the total purchase, much like the sales tax, except that will now go through a different allocation method, and it will eventually end up into the county's general fund, and not as a sales tax through the SPLOST program, where it's 100% dedicated toward capital projects through the SPLOST program. So that is a lost sales tax revenue that we'll need to look at closely beginning March 1st.
And thank you. And then the additional monies that we've collected to date, we've set those aside as opposed to just putting them out in the system, right?
That's correct. Those are within the SPLOST program. They get allocated out based on collections to the municipalities as well as the county. But we are keeping an eye on those very closely before you get into the Tier 2 projects to make sure that any impact that a loss of sales tax revenue through the auto dealers could be absorbed through that $9 million.
Okay.
Of course, we're still hopeful that we're going to see signs of economic improvement that would
Right.
certainly offset any of those potential losses.
The $9 million, have we allocated the city's portion of that out to them, or are we holding on to that as well?
It's my understanding that we have allocated, we do that on a monthly basis, where in the past we had a set amount that would go toward each, to the cities, and then the county would, during the course of a month, would absorb any shortfalls, and then we'd reconcile it later.
Okay.
But now we allocate 100% of the proceeds based on a formula.
Gotcha. Okay, well in hand, well managed. I'm sure the city managers are all aware of this legislation, as Gail Downing tries to get everybody aware of it.
It's going to be a big task for the tax assessor's office, or the tag agency, Gail Downing. We are working with the cities and the school boards to look at how the cash flows are going to impact all
Okay.
of us.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
You should know that Friday we got an update from the legislation pending or potential proposed, and they may be addressing this bill as it relates to sales tax to the automobile this session, which could just throw a bad situation into a worse situation. So hold on to your hat. Thank you so much, sir. Good work, everyone. Just excellent work. I'm very proud of everyone. The citizens of Cobb County could rest assured and feel comfortable that the folks that work for Cobb County and all the 6 cities are doing an outstanding job taking care of the funds that have been trusted to us through the SPLOST, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Jim.